ready. Now he's. Oh.
Hello?
Yo, Kevin Moranz.
Howdy.
Welcome to the Moto Aftermath show, bud. How are you tonight?
Sore as all get out. Let's just say that.
Yeah. The sand wasn't fun for you.
So when's Supercross start?
Well, bro, let me tell you, after going to Redbud last week, I told Justin, I was like, at the most, we can go to every other national if we ever get to that point, because I cannot do two of these weekends in a row. The sun, the heat, I'm out. I want to go in air conditioning, Wi-Fi, I want the whole 9. Bathrooms.
Dude, that was brutal.
Dude. Yeah. So let's start with Southwick here and talk about that first. And then we'll get to the WSX because we've got lots of questions here and things to talk about with you. So, So tell us about your Millville day here because Southwick. Sorry, I'm fucking brain fading here on Sunday. Tell us about your Southwick day here, because I mean you've basically been in a whirlwind of travel here for the last 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. So long story short. Definitely jet lagged. Actually kind of came down with a little bit of something on the way home. Sore throat, coughing up nasty, mucusy, green stuff. So that was not ideal. Very heavy eyes and just kind of tired the 2 days leading up to the event, even when we got into town. Got everything ready. And, yeah, overall Southwick, not stoked with it, but it is what it is kind of deal. So we got our first round out of the way. Obviously, we're coming back to outdoors to be scoring points. It's not fun when you're not scoring points. Not really worth it if you're not scoring points, kind of deal. Just to be really honest. But kind of to be expected with the gnarly travel. We didn't leave Birmingham until Tuesday. I didn't get back until Tuesday night, I believe, and then boom, left Thursday for Southwick. So literally had 1 day at home to put all my helmet wrap graphics, everything together, bike graphics, whipped it all up, grabbed my stuff, went to the races, and in qualifying, I was actually kind of happy with how I felt, because the first round of qualifying, I think I was sitting P33 after everything was said and done, and then actually qualified P13 in the second qualifier compared to everybody. So I was like one of the only dudes that actually went faster in the second session than I did in the first session. Sorry about that. So yeah, felt good in qualifying, and I was like, okay, this actually might be pretty solid. And then if you go and watch, you know who Tommy Tenders is?
Yeah.
You know who that is? So if you go watch his Instagram, he has a good slow-mo of the first 450 start.
Okay.
And you will literally see Kevin Moranz in last place. Literally dead last place. I was the last one to go through the first corner because I pretty much stopped in the first corner because there's people squirreling out on the very inside. So, yeah, came from there, was just in the mix of all the squirreliness and everybody in the back, and just pretty much told myself, yo, don't take it out, or don't take yourself out of racing in the first 1 to 4 laps of this race kind of deal. So I kind of just played it smart, got around those guys, but by the time I got around those dudes, everybody was sending it and gone kind of deal. So just made my way through the pack, ended up 29th, was whatever kind of deal. I was like, all right, I'm not starting inside this time. Inside is not the move unless you absolutely rip a great jump. So I went outside, better move. Started top 15, but I was toast from the first one, to be really honest. So didn't have a really good intensity pace, more or less. The first few laps dropped from 15th to pretty much 28th, and then chugged my way back to 22nd by the end of it. So overall the day, we got through the first round, ready to put it behind us. That track, not a fan of it when it comes to what it does to your body. Obviously, I love that kind of style of track, and I love suffering at the end because usually that's when I can start picking people off. But Kev just wasn't really there. A lot of things going against me, happened on the bike, kind of new bike, which felt good, by the way, which is solid. But, yeah, just minimal time, minimal prep, and it is what it is.
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. That 22nd, the second moto, was way better than I had anticipated you doing, to be quite honest with you. And that was strictly based off the travel schedule and the lack of prep for outdoors here. Because let's face it, you told me the week week of Redbud or the week before Redbud. Yeah, man. So we're gonna go ride outdoors here when we get back from London, and I'm like, oh, all right. So yeah, so I figured you would be probably in like the 25. No, I didn't necessarily think LCQ. I was thinking like 25 to 30 just on the first one here. And like I said, a lot of that was based on travel schedule, lack of prep.
Oh, he's not lying. When we were driving down to Redbud on Friday, he asked me, he goes, so I think Kev's going to do at Southwick. And I'm like, well.
I was like, what do you really think he's going to do?
Yeah,
and like
give it to me all minutes. What'd you say?
Well, we landed on like the 25 to 30 because we're like, dude, he doesn't have any outdoor prep. He wasn't going to ride it.
And then you're going from riding a Honda on a Supercross track to a KTM on an outdoor track.
Yeah.
That's arguably the roughest track of the year. So it's like, yeah.
Look, to be honest with you, Kev, you just had a bunch of shit working against you, all right? So, like, I'm super proud of that 22nd, and you should be too, because, I mean, you are not riding outdoors right now.
Yeah, and okay? I mean, you know, you had some of those awesome Kevin Moranz, Jeff Walker battles that we're so accustomed to.
Dude. Both motos, bro.
Like, I don't get it.
First moto, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I remember this last year, just being right there.
Just rolling up on Jeff then, like, dude, get away from me.
Dude, I know. And then, so I had that little lull. Sorry, I'm coughing and whatnot. But I had that little lull at the beginning of the second moto. Got a good start, and Jeff passes me.
Shocking.
Like, I'll see you later, kind of deal. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll see you in a bit. You know what I mean? You go and sprint it out a little bit. I'll see you in a little bit. And he kind of gapped me a little bit, and then boom, just started chugging back up to him. And then, yeah, dude, he had like nothing at the end of the moto. I was smoked. I was smoked halfway through that moto, dude. So, yeah, I kept digging deep because I was like, I want to at least get him before the end of this. So I was happy to make that happen.
Yeah, you and everyone else that rode that track yesterday.
I would say, like I said, dude, I thought it was great. The first moto was exactly kind of in the realm of where I thought you would be, and then that second moto, I was like, dude, he's bad. Like when I start, because I was keeping track of actually you and Walker because you guys were right next to each other on the timing on the side there, and towards the end of that second moto, I saw you guys start to move up, and I'm like, dude, is Kev gonna get actually like in the points here the second moto? Because that would be like a huge thing in my opinion to get in the points second moto. So you know I'm always gonna shoot you straight, bro. I'm not gonna bullshit you and be like, yeah man, I thought you were gonna win. Like go challenge Jet. Like fuck this, you're the greatest. Nah, dude. Like bro, dude. Like, but hey, let's get off the outdoor stuff here because, like me, you're much more of a Supercross guy here. Let's talk about let's talk about this World Supercross because I am so excited to hear all the behind the scenes stuff. I've freaking watched the vlog. I thought there was plenty of cool things there, but like what was this experience like? Like compared to let's compare it to some Feld Supercross. Like how did you feel going in there? Like what was the track like? I want all the different details like that.
Yeah, like, so one of the coolest things is how they kind of involve everybody in the opening ceremonies. Obviously, Supercross in the States, you got to be one of the top dudes, or they don't really give you much attention kind of deal.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. I mean, obviously, there's less people doing it. They kind of have to give attention to the main guys because they have 80 dudes that are coming to show up. So a little bit different in that aspect, but no, I was just really stoked with how everything went. It was obviously it's a cool experience, right? You get to go to a different country, see different culture, go see different things. In the States here, like you're used to just seeing the same city, same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's cool to have the fan interaction and stuff like that. I think one of the coolest things was like going overseas and what you saw in the vlog is like these people were like hooting and hollering on the street, and I was like, oh, like they're just like, you know, just joking around or they're just having a good time or whatever, and they come right up to me. I'm like, wait, you guys know me? And they're like, yeah, dude, we watched the vlog. And I'm like, what?
Dude.
So like that was actually kind of like a cool experience.
That was sick. I saw that in the vlog, and I was like, dude, that is the coolest thing when you're somewhere like that and someone's like, hey, I know you. How do you know me? YouTube.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude, Brits are hardcore when it comes to moto, man. It's the same thing with French people. Like they're all about moto.
Okay, so I guess I'll get into some more specific questions here. So the opening ceremonies, I heard there was a bit of confusion with everyone going out on the floor for the opening ceremonies and then like, oh, do we come off? Do we go back on? Do we stay here? Do we leave? Like I heard there was a bit of confusion with that. So what exactly was like what were the instructions for that?
So it's a little bit all over the place, right? Like so there's first off I'll just say I think there's a lot of potential within the series. I think what they have going on is really cool. I think it's going to kind of take things to the next level. But, yeah, like it was a little bit squirrely for this first one. Obviously, it's the first one of the year. We're going to kind of get it down, and the rest of them will be pretty.
Nope.
But I think that they kind of – can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. You're good.
Okay. I think that they kind of semi-figured that majority everybody that did it last year was doing it this year kind of deal.
Okay.
So it wasn't like super in detail, the descriptions of what we needed to do. Or it kind of was, but they probably should have like ran you through it right before you go out and do it. Like, oh, just remember, we go out here as soon as they get ready to introduce the big dudes, you guys all come out kind of deal. So yeah, we all just stayed on the track, and then like I think it was McElrath came off the track when they're introducing the big guys, and we're all like, should we have done that too? And then we all just kind of followed suit. So yeah, it was kind of weird, but no, overall, like super cool experience, super cool deal. So yeah, what other questions you got?
What did you think of the track there? Because obviously the lap times were super short. Did it feel short? Did it feel racy? I've kind of skimmed through it. It's not like a US Supercross where I was like, oh, I got to sit down and watch this. Plus we were at Redbud that whole day. So like me and Justin got back and kind of were like, oh yeah, we'll watch this later and talk about it next week deal. So what did you think of the track overall compared to like a US track?
So I'll be really honest with this, whether they listen to this or not. I will probably give my 2 cents to them that I think that they should have tried to set it up a little bit more all the way down the stadium, all the way back down the stadium.
Okay.
To the side. They had like a zigzag in the middle that kind of made things a little bit goofy, to be honest. Like towards the end of the motos, like the mains, it kind of had some passing areas, which it was kind of cool. But yeah, it was a little bit goofy because you had some shorter sections that broke it up, but then it was kind of like on the gas, off the gas, on the gas. Like there wasn't a ton of flow with it.
Got it.
But as far as everything was built, like it was pretty good. Everything was pretty solid. Obviously the dirt was a little bit tricky. It was tacking some areas and then dry slick in some areas. But I mean, we have that at some of the Supercross tracks around the States too. So
yeah, for
the most part, it's pretty good.
Scale wise, everything seemed to be roughly the same though. Like,
yeah, pretty solid. I mean, everything was pretty much on point as far as that goes. The finish line was a little bit big.
I was
going to ask about that.
I was also going to bring up, did you have any sketch moments on the split lane before the finish line like everybody else?
Yes. Oh, 100%, yes. I'm trying to think of what else. So the middle section, like right after you hit the finish line, you turn, you have like a little double situation, and boom, that first like legitimate rhythm where there was a choice whether you go 3 on off or like Roxon was going 3 over table 2, but like a majority of the guys were just going 2, 3 on, off single. That was a pretty solid rhythm. Like I liked how there was choices there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything else was, I mean, it was built pretty good.
Okay.
I will say that the Supercross triple face was quite steep. And the Supercross triple landing was quite mellow. So like you're going off a very steep face to a pretty flat landing was always a pretty hard hit.
Huh. Those
are my only.
How were the whoops? Were those pretty big, or those were pretty mellow too?
Dude, they were actually pretty gnarly. Like they were not big, and they looked like they were going to be super easy. As soon as I was walking the track, I was like, "Oh, boom, got those, perfect." But they just got super edgy. Like they were pretty tricky.
How was the bike? Like, did they get that bike set up the same way you have the one set up at your house, or?
So this is the way the Honda Nils program worked for me. At least this is what the deal is. So I don't know what I've told you off the record. This is all I'm going to say on the record kind of deal. But what you like that?
Yeah.
So
on the record here,
always a corporate man.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're an overseas team. They're like, hey, we'd love to give you a bike, get you a bike to work on, yada yada yada. I obviously was kind of a later addition to the team, and they're pretty much like, if you could go buy yourself a practice bike, that would be super sick. You go buy yourself a bike, you get some practice, we'll send you a set of suspensions, a set of clamps, and some other goodies and whatnot to test out. But if you can do that, it's going to make everything actually work. Like, if you're going to expect us to try to get you a bike or any other situation, I guess I could have said, hey, send me the money to buy a bike. It doesn't really bother me, right? Like, at least most privateers of my level or around my level, you buy a bike, you're not going to lose a bunch on it. As long as you have a dealer that's going to give you a good deal, maybe get it at cost, etc. Like, you're not going to lose a ton on the bike. So that didn't scare me. And they were sending me a set of suspension. So they said, you get the bike, we'll send you a set of suspension. You find somebody in America to set it up, and then boom, test with it. Tell us everything you like on the bike. Then you just take the suspension only, fly with it overseas, we'll put it on the bike you raced it.
Okay.
So it was honestly like the easiest way to make it work, because I did all my handlebar testing, gearing testing, whole shot device, how far down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all I had to do is they just sent me a set of suspension. That's all. That's everything that I showed up to the race was the same on my practice bike, obviously, and then I just flew with the suspension.
How what's it like flying with suspension? Like, what goes into that? Because a lot of people talk about this, but like that has to be an interesting thing of like
just ask Dean Wilson.
Yeah, of like checking it or like carrying it on. Like, I don't even know if that's
Oh,
an option.
why? What happened? Did his get lost?
No, in the past he's had problems when he's done overseas races, and they have lost his shit in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is obviously a large concern. All I have is I have like a Moto cases, so like Moto case. So it's like obviously cut out foam for a set of suspension. So it's got a shot cutout, it's got 2 fork cutouts. So it's an entire gun case more or less, but it's just got the suspension in it. So what I do is it's honestly as simple as just checking a bag. So you just tell them, is this a gun? No, it's a suspension case or whatever. What I did something extra on top of it, because I always hear these stories about these things getting lost and never get returned. So I printed off a piece of paper and put it inside of it. I said, if this package / bag is held, if there's problems, if it's not able to continue, or if it's lost, please contact me at, boom, I put my number, I put my email, and I put my Instagram. So, like, there's no reason that they can tell me that this is completely lost. Like, somebody's going to open it and see this inside. So they're either BSing or somebody stole it, kind of a deal. So I did that, and I had no problems. Like, it showed right up, and then I flew back home with it as well. And same thing like domestic. Like, I just flew to Southwick with an extra set of suspension, just a stock set of suspension, because I didn't know how good my stuff was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I have something as a backup. And yeah, same situation. I just threw that little piece of paper in there, and wada bing, wada boom, there it is.
Sweet. Now, what did they have you do for press stuff? Like, did you have anything outside of the stadium, or everything press-wise was in the stadium for this?
Everything was inside the stadium. I kind of thought they were going to have like some activities outside the stadium, like they've had in years or last year.
Yeah.
But no, everything was in stadium, kind of what you saw in the vlog. Like, we had a little media day, and that was about it. We didn't get to ride or anything like that. No testing, no press day riding. As soon as you came out, you got 1 free practice, 1 qualifying session, boom, went racing.
Okay. What was the crowd like? Was it big, or because it didn't look that big on TV, but it was? Yeah,
I think that's another thing. Like, I think it's got potential to grow once they get into it and kind of make it more of a consistent thing.
Okay.
I thought it was healthy, but it was nothing like crazy.
Okay. I'm brain fading. Ask him a question.
How do you like the format?
Yeah, there we go.
Honestly, when I was doing it, I was like, this is awful. Why do they not go 250, 450, 250, 450, 250, 450?
Yeah, that is a little weird.
I think that's a change that they probably should make in the future. But when your boy was running 5th for the entire 3rd race, I was like, I love this one. Everybody else is gassed.
It's kind of like a triple crown. You get to that 3rd one, and you're like, man, everybody else is struggling, and I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Did it seem?
Oh,
go ahead.
Too. I was getting pumped up. I was getting pumped up towards the end of the second, and you even saw me say in the video, I'm like, you just got to be smooth and carry this one out, Kev, because like I was already kind of toast, but like got a good start and just rode my ride kind of deal. It's a lot easier to be consistent and smooth on Supercross than it is a Southwick track that can.
Did the racing seem really short? Yeah, we got you now. Did the racing seem really short? Because it was like on TV. Okay. It was like you snapped your fingers and like the race was over. Especially in the 250s. 450s was a bit more, but it still was quick.
Yeah, no, it was pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it felt like a while because you have 3 different races. Like, you're like, okay, I just raced once, sweet. ready to go for round 2. After round 2, you're like, geez Louise, we already raced twice. You got another one? Like, my goodness, it's going to be longer? Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, I mean, it was pretty quick, to be honest. I will say the one thing I do not like about the series that I will probably be voicing my opinion about is they have a last lap card, right? They don't have a white flag. They have a last lap card.
Okay.
And you coming out of that right-handed corner, it's very tough to see. So almost every time I raced, I didn't know it was the last lap or like anything like that. I just saw the checkered flag. I'm like, oh, okay, we're done. Because like, it's super hard to see just like a card being held there.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Like you see a flag waving. You don't see like, you know what I mean? So that's one thing that I thought was kind of goofy about this situation.
Did you talk to anybody? Did anybody else have that same feeling or sentiment about it?
No, honestly, dude, I was completely slammed from 2 weeks before World Supercross to literally until now, where I have like a full week to kind of think about things.
Yeah.
And just kind of reflecting on everything. That's one thing that kind of sticks out. So no, I haven't mentioned it to anybody.
Look, I'm just waiting to see Kevin that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude, that would be pretty sick, though. I'm not gonna lie.
We need. I will tell you. We need. I have it in my notes to talk about because that's the one thing we haven't talked about is the WSX race yet. We need Super Pole here.
I love the Super Pole idea.
It's fucking awesome. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, okay. Like,
yep. We can hear you.
So you said you have in your notes to do what?
We need need the Super Pole here.
We both like Super Pole. I think it's a great idea.
I think it is pretty cool. And it adds a little bit extra time, so then you're not just like race.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I honestly think it's what we should start the night with for the night show. Even if it's only like the top 5 guys, it still should be that, and then there can be 5 points, 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point shit or something.
It's kind of like with that one, like everybody kind of assumed like, oh yeah, Kenny's been fastest all day. Like, of course he's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then just out of nowhere, ultimately, I know it doesn't mean anything, but like Jay Hill, like all of a sudden just pops up. You're like, okay, that adds some excitement to the race.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I know once like Kev said, it's harder on the riders, but like from the fan perspective and growing that like series, dude, it's something that over here we're not going to be used to. Over there, they do a lot of it in their little small Supercross series, but I think it's a cool idea.
So, Kev, what'd you end up? 8th overall?
10th.
10th? Okay. Well,
yep.
Dude.
I mean, that's kind of where
that's great, dude.
Yeah.
So. I mean, for 2 weeks on the bike pretty much and going over there first round kind of, I mean, I was happy with how it went, to be really honest. Especially, I mean, I finished right behind, I could be wrong, but I think I finished right behind Nichols. I beat Josh Hill. And obviously, like Sealy and a bunch of other pretty solid dudes. So, like, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
We just kind of came to the conclusion that you need to beat Grant Harlan.
Yeah.
Because you guys have just kind of been going this back and forth thing of who's, like, the best privateer as far as Supercross is related.
Yeah. Wait, say that again?
You got to beat Grant Harlan, bro, because you two are fighting it out for privateer of the year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, well, as long as it beats Grant, like, then we're good.
I was happy about that too, dude. Homie's killing it outdoors. Like, I got to give it to him.
He is. He stepped his shit up, especially in Supercross.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been good outdoors, but Supercross, he definitely got a lot better this last year.
Yep. So, so when do they come to redo the track?
Right now it's looking like probably like Tuesday. I think it's August 8th or 9th.
Sick.
7th or 8th, something like that.
Sick.
So then they're going to work until probably the weekend.
Cool. Sweet.
So the weekend of the 12th, which is the weekend of what, Unadilla?
Yeah.
It's the weekend that they'll be done.
Yeah, it's the weekend
Sweet.
of Unadilla.
Well, I'll be through Kansas the weekend before that. Yeah, the 29th of what's it called? So I'll be through. Maybe we'll stop by if it's on the way. Say hi.
Yeah. No, that'd be sweet though.
Yeah.
Come on out,
Yeah, well, I can't ride, or this is a quick weekend in and out to do some family stuff that I'll tell you about off the air. But yeah,
gotcha.
But yeah, but I don't know exactly. I know it's a little bit farther than your house, so I'll see if we can swing going by. Me and Ashley will stop in and say hi.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I should be home.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the Loretta's weekend, so it's the off weekend, so it works perfectly for me. So, but
indeed.
All right, you got anything else for him?
Nah, man.
I think that's all I got. All right, Kev. Well, thank you for coming on,
Thanks,
sir.
brother.
Really appreciate it. Great job this weekend. Great job last weekend
Awesome.
at World Supercross, man. Hopefully Hopefully you still want to be friends, even though I thought you were going to be a 25 to 30th place guy.
Hey, at least
I
he didn't have.
appreciate it.
At least he didn't have the same experience as he did last year at the Wick.
I thought last year was
What, going 21-21?
No, I thought you had the whole case issue where like you were having problems like.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of issues there,
Yeah.
but it did suck going 21-21.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought
I wasn't
yeah.
talking about the
think I
results. I was talking about bike shit.
I was gonna say results wise, I
Yeah.
thought it was all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
you did
that's
get points,
fine, but like it was stressful leading up
Well,
to that.
there's nothing worse than getting 21-21. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, just one
That-
point out
that
of the.
just
It's like
sucks.
second. Like if you're not first, you're last.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, man, get some rest. I'll talk to you this week, brother. And thanks for coming on, man.
See ya.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. You know, we'll keep that TLR coatings on the. We need to snag Moto Aftermath show on some stuff too. So I appreciate it. And yeah, we have that on the floor.
Yeah, because they don't hate us over there.
I would say we get that Moto Aftermath show on that World Supercross bike.
Yeah, we don't have Adam Bailey. Who doesn't like
Yeah,
us.
son.
I'm a big Adam Bailey fan. So, all right,
See
later,
you, man.
brother.
Howdy, bye.